for the moment. In a major drug haul, Mizoram police have seized 40 kilograms of methamphetamine tablets and 3 kilograms of heroin worth over 6 crore rupees in two separate operations in Aizawl. The seized drugs were concealed inside door panels of cars. Two people from Myanmar's Chin state and one juvenile has been arrested. This recent drug haul is a chilling reminder and a wake-up call to the threat both in and out of the country. From Mizoram to Manipur, is this turning out to be a huge national security threat? The Kuki-Chin-Zo connection, is there more to it than meets the eye? This big drug economy worth over 60,000 crore, is it a tinderbox that we are all sitting on, ladies and gentlemen? Dr. Ankita Datta, researcher and columnist, is with us, and Colonel Shantikumar Sapam, spokesperson of the Meitei Heritage Society, is also with us this evening. My namaste and Jai Hind to the two of you. Thank you very much. Colonel Shantikumar, if I may start with you, this drug issue, how big and serious is this? And if it is moving in from the same Myanmar border, which both Mizoram and Manipur share their borders with Myanmar, how serious is this, and how much of money is floating around there, because of which, activities against the state are quite prominent and possible?
Anandi, thank you so much for having me in your show. Drug problem is so serious. It's not only for the Northeast, it is serious for the entire country as such. And the estimated turnover, as you have mentioned, it is around 60 to 70,000 crores in a year. And when your turnover is this kind of money, so huge, one can imagine what kind of damage you can do with the people around in the Northeast, Manipur, Northeast, Mizoram, and the whole entire country as such. And with this, when there is a drug, there is always a gun power also there. The nefarious activities that are going on there, and it is shifting the golden triangle. It is shifting towards the western side. That is western of western Myanmar, Manipur, and this side. So it's a very dangerous thing, I would say, for the nation as such. Not only for Manipur or Northeast, for the entire country as such. This is what I would like to sum it on this aspect.
But the involvement, is there a tribal connect to it? Is there a regional connect to it? Or is it just across the board that there are nefarious elements who are involved? Colonel Shantikumar.
Well, I would like to sum it here is that the cultivation of poppy, which is taking place in a huge amount, if I don't have to blame any
Colonel Shantikumar, I think we've just lost you momentarily. You're back with us. Go ahead, please. Please repeat what you said. We lost you there momentarily. Please go ahead.
What I'm saying is the poppy cultivation as such. This is taking place at the mountains where the cookies are in domination in that area. So I feel that trees are much more from that side, and the farmers who are cultivating also mostly from that side. The workers, I'm talking about the labor as such, and a lot of when you cultivate poppy, a lot of fertilizers which are supposed to be coming down the paddy fields for cultivation of other agriculture, this thing also is going diverted over there. So I would say a lot of angles are involved in this. For the for our survivability, there's going to be a big question if we continue this.
Ankita Datta ji, your thoughts?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Yes. Namaste, Anand ji. Namaste, everyone. Now, see, I agree with what my co-panelist has just said, and most importantly, besides the commercial value of drugs, drugs in the Northeast has always acted as an effective instrument for acquiring control of the region among rival insurgent groups. establishing control over the drug corridors have become a major preoccupation of the insurgent outfits here. And apart from poppy cultivation, as you said, India is a producer of mandrax and various other synthetic drugs like methamphetamine, including ecstasy drug, which is chiefly produced in Myanmar but have found significant markets in India. And the problem mainly began in the late 1980s and the 1990s when the drug trade began to spread its tentacles in the Northeast. And not just drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is associated with extortion, with organized crime rackets, with wildlife criminal syndicates, which are the major sources of funding for most of the insurgent outfits active here. Their top leaders, who are mainly based in the borders of districts like Churachandpur and More in Manipur, their leaders are known to encourage farmers in the border districts of Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh to cultivate poppy. And in the absence of other various gainful agricultural initiatives and employment avenues, this region soon it fell prey to poppy cultivation on a massive scale. And a majority of the Kuki insurgent organizations, which are based in Manipur, especially the border districts, they depend upon extortion, open extortion, to raise funds. And when their coffers dry up, they are always on the lookout for alternate sources of funding. So insurgent groups, they eventually begin to depend more and more on drug trafficking so as to sustain themselves. There have been several cases earlier of NSCN, NSCN-IM, NSCN-K, how they were involved in the collection of tax on the value of drugs which were passing through their area of control. The Imphal-Dimapur highway, that is the NH2, it is a vital link. In this important route leading to the Golden Triangle. So it is high time that the government of India adopts a strict border policy and seals all our borders. Because it is not just drug trafficking, it is also about the illegal trade of gold, illegal smuggling of Burmese betel nut, timber, etc. Wildlife criminal syndicates, yes, etc.
Now, they say that there are factories, these drop-down factories right along that porous border with Mizoram and Myanmar also, and what's being made there is yaba. This is meth plus coffee, which has got a lot of popularity across the board, and what's been caught is also tons of meth that's been there. Now, how does this money circulate, Colonel Shantikumar? And does it go into the hands of these nefarious elements who are now pushing up the strife content in Manipur? And is there this whole, is there any merit that there is a narco-religious connect to this entire secessionist agenda, trying to cull out a separate state there itself, driven by a religious identity but funded by narcotics?
Actually, initially, maximum drugs, poppy cultivation used to take place in Afghanistan. Now, the cultivation of poppy is completely banned in Afghanistan as of now. So it has been, shifted this side. So demand has, a lot of demand is there in the market, and since the demand is there, so production is taking place this side. And this has been observed by various, must have been observed by various organizations, and that is what the population, the cultivation, poppy cultivation is taking place in this area and then coming to Manipur. And the mass cultivation has taken place in the last 5 years. And of course, this cannot be cultivated without the kingpin, basically. This businessmen also must be there, and then they have with a different agenda. One more theory is also there, that when some country, when they sponsor a country for, arms struggle or things like that, they also try to plan in such a way that the funding portion is self-sufficient and self-sustained. That is also there, just helping them from, what I mean is foreign countries and things like that. So if you see in the last, as a military man, I used to understand the angle from Myanmar problem and Manipur problem, and in olden days Mizoram and all. But then I never thought, Bangladesh also would be involved. So in the last two, let's say 1.5 months, it became very clear to me that Bangladesh Bangladesh, Myanmar, and India, that is a portion of Manipur. They are in this vicious circle, and it is the supporter of this armed militants. They are, I would say, that they are from the same organization as such. And we cannot neglect this, Burma Act 2020, Burma Act.
Right.
What is given there in that. It is very important, Burma Act. And I would say that is the act is very, successfully conducted. That is what I would like to say. If you tell me that I must speak out regarding the Burma Act, I will submit it if it is. If
Right.
it is for the public.
We will take that up on another day. I'm running out of time, but just final word from Ankita Datta. How can this be curbed? Is it spread? Because you said Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, these 3 states in Bharat are involved or are affected. But is this also then finding its way into other regions of the country? And how big an issue of national security is it, along with, of course, the social menace that is drugs?
It is certainly it is an issue of national security, and if the Northeast it is the soil here is abundantly fertile for poppy cultivation. That is also one of the reasons. Poppy farming, although it is prohibited in Manipur under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985, but from Manipur it has of late spread across the hills of the northeast and some zones in the Imphal Valley as well, involving people from many different communities. And in 2018, the BJP-led government in Manipur had launched a war on drugs to curb drug trafficking, illicit poppy cultivation, and its consumption. And the cultivation of poppy, it is prevalent along several remote tracts also in different states of the northeast, which was not prevalent earlier. And this may be understood from the operations which have been undertaken intermittently by different government agencies to eradicate these cultivations. But the cultivation has assumed an extremely organized form, especially in Manipur. The root of the entire conflict which is going on, as we are seeing in the state, and a section of the Manipuri farmers, especially in the border districts, they have been encouraged continuously to cultivate poppy for greater profits. This is a huge threat to our national security, to our borders.
Right. Thank you, Ankita Datta and Colonel Shanti Kumar, for joining us here on this conversation. We'll take this whole story forward, ladies and gentlemen. CNN News 18 will do a deep dive on this entire drug menace. How far is it spread, and how much of it has been used to perhaps corrupt the minds of the locals there into believing a particular identity which is not true, and is there a religious angle to it to try and carve out a separate state, this entire secessionist agenda. We'll deep dive into that and the role of narcotics in that, and how important it is to try and block and patrol those borders and to stop this free run for these kind of agencies and agents and entities. Thank you very much. Moving on quickly, Ankita Datta